If a traveler realized there's a flame deep in his mind that could ignite whole galaxies, he wouldn't waste a single morning getting lost in judgment, fear, or doubt. He'd understand that the world outside him is just a reflection of his own thoughts. Each day he'd rise not just to tackle what's ahead, but to reshape his fate, remembering who he truly is. Changing your soul doesn't come from new clothes or fancy words, nor does it come from following foreign traditions. True change happens inside, a subtle shift in how we see life. One perspective is limited, full of fear and the everyday grind. The other connects us to that whisper we call spirit. Transforming your mind is what changes your life. It's like stepping from a dark room into a sunlit meadow. It's less about memorizing dusty verses and more about linking up with the source of all wisdom. This isn't just a mental exercise, it's a deep connection, the soul returning to its roots. The wise teacher, the one many respect as a master, didn't come here to teach us how to die, but how to think clearly. His true power wasn't about turning water into wine or giving vision to the blind. It was in being perfectly in tune with the universal light. He didn't think like the rest of us, limited by earthly concerns. He thought in eternal terms. And that is the invitation he gives us today, to think not from a place of lack, but from wholeness, not from wounds, but from fulfillment. You can't truly find peace if your mind is divided, like a shattered mirror reflecting only bits and pieces. You can't dance in joy while holding on to scarcity, nor can you heal if guilt weighs you down. You aren't meant to see yourself as an outsider. You are a child of the infinite. The biggest hurdle for us isn't mistakes or ignorance or even darkness. It's forgetting where we come from. It's believing in separation, fueled by fear and competition, always trying to shield ourselves from the world. But you, wandering soul, were made for more. Your purpose is to connect with the divine, to tap into the pure consciousness that goes beyond appearances and rests in unshakable truth. The sacred is already within you. This message isn't about trapping you in a new way of living. It's about helping you break free from the old one. It's not about adding more ideas to weigh you down, but about freeing you from those that don't resonate with your true self. Here you won't find strict rules or doctrines, just an invitation to release the fearful, doubting thoughts that hold you back. It's time to let a new consciousness blossom within you. Not something foreign or forced, but your own, like a seed that's been waiting for the rain, ready to awaken to the sunlight. This awareness, often called Christ consciousness, isn't just for a select few or trapped in the past. It's a living state of being, a frequency that has always existed within you. Every word here is a stepping stone on your journey back. This isn't theory. It's about taking action. It isn't about religion. It's about transforming your life. It's not just theology. It's about living your experience. When you open your heart to this message, something inside shifts. Your thoughts won't be a conflict anymore. They'll bloom like a garden. Words will stop being sharp edges and instead turn into melodies. Your emotions won't feel like cages. They'll become wings. And your soul, like a child waking from a long sleep, will remember how to live from a deeper place, not from your ego, but from the sacred fire inside you. This fire doesn't have a single name. Some call it Christ, others say it's presence, but its essence is the same. It creates a union between your mind and a higher mind, between what's human and what's eternal. This union is the key, the one that opens doors you thought were shut. Peace, health, freedom, joy. These gifts come not from earning them, but from tuning in. Want peace? Change your thoughts. Looking for health? Align with the truth. Seeking purpose? Think as the Spirit thinks. That's your calling, what you were born to do. This work simply whispers to you, reminding you that it's time to think differently. The divine thought lives within you. It doesn't hang in the skies, books, or temples. It resides right inside you, where silence meets truth. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and declare on that invisible altar, I no longer think with worldly thoughts. Now I think with the mind of the fire that created me. In that mind you find only truth, goodness, and peace. I am one with everything. That's my truth, my only truth. If you're still with me, it's clear this topic speaks to you. Check out the first link in the description for more on metaphysics and faith. There's a lot more to explore that can help you even further, so don't miss out. Don't let the world shape your spirit. There are thoughts born from chaos and others that come from calm. There's a mind that calculates and another that reflects, one that's driven by fear and another filled with trust. Real change isn't about outward displays or behaviors. It's something deeper. It's like the breath we can't see, but that gives us life. It's not about just acting better. It's about seeing the world in a new light. Renew your mind, as that wise traveler said. And that renewal, it doesn't stem from logic. It flows from the heart. We have a mind grounded in time and another that touches on eternity. One mind pulls us apart while the other brings us together. That worldly mind, the one focused on the physical, builds walls of fear. It creates a reality full of emptiness, sees threats instead of chances, guilt where there should be innocence, and scarcity in abundance. It's quick, restless, demanding, and judgmental. It confuses noise for truth and looks at appearances rather than what's real. But it's not our enemy. It's just a mind that's asleep and forgotten the soul's language. And like anything asleep, it can wake up. Awakening isn't just thinking. It's about being present, watching without jumping to conclusions, listening without expecting, and feeling without fear. Then there's another mind, the spiritual mind. It exists in the world but doesn't get trapped by it. This mind doesn't ignore the physical. It simply rises above its rules. It finds strength in togetherness, not isolation. This mind isn't rushed. It looks at the same circumstance but finds a new meaning. Where some see loss, it finds lessons. Where others see a crisis, it notices an opening. When someone feels like a victim, it recognizes a soul growing. This isn't mere self-help. It's spiritual alchemy, the art and science of the soul. Remember, thoughts aren't neutral. They carry energy, and that energy affects everything. Do you want to know what kind of mindset to embrace? Start by asking yourself some deep questions. Are these thoughts rooted in fear or trust? Do they limit you or set you free? Do they remind you that you're separate from everything or connected to something greater? Every time you choose forgiveness instead of judgment, gratitude instead of complaints, or calmness instead of rushing, you're training your soul to think like Christ. That mindset is unshakable. It doesn't contradict itself or feel the need to defend its truth because it's grounded in peace. It's not about hiding from the world. It's about not getting caught up in its way of thinking. You can love, create, and make decisions, but do it from a space that understands everything is spirit. Remember, you aren't just a body, you are free. Think from a place that trusts, not one that tries to control. When you stop fighting and start understanding, something profound happens within you. The old, limited way of thinking will fade away like fog in the morning. You don't have to be perfect, just be willing. Quietly say, Holy Spirit, guide my thoughts. I don't want to think like the world, I want to think with you. If this prayer grows stronger than your fears, more steady than your pain, and more real than what surrounds you, you'll cross an unseen line. You'll know, not just in your head but deep in your soul, that God's will isn't about punishment or giving things up. It's about true freedom, a peace that doesn't depend on anything, a joy without a reason, a life free from fear. Let that divine mindset live within you, shining brightly like a flame waiting to be rekindled. It's not a mind bound by rules or perfected by beliefs. It's a clear, open conscience without guilt or shame. A conscience that doesn't judge because it understands, doesn't fear because it knows, and doesn't feel the need to defend itself because it's rooted in unity. What kind of thoughts support that kind of awareness? Not strategic or calculated ones. Christ didn't think as the world teaches us. His mind wasn't reactive or swayed by extreme emotions like desire and guilt, doubt and hope. He responded not from pain, but from a deep source of wisdom. His silence spoke louder than words, and his strength didn't come from loud proclamations. He wasn't trying to stand out, he was simply connected. He wasn't a superhero, he was living truth. And this truth, it's not just for a few special people. It's in you, like a seed waiting to sprout. All it needs is a moment of stillness, a willingness to say yes. The mind that was in Christ saw no division. Because of that, it didn't judge. Only someone who thinks they are separate can see others as enemies, and only someone who forgets their own greatness can pass judgment. But those who remember their oneness recognize the sacred story in every face, the lesson in every wound, and the guidance in every stumble. Where there's understanding, there's no blame. He didn't live with fear because fear always needs an opponent. Yet a person who knows their spirit, who understands they are made of light and wrapped in love, has nothing to defend. Their peace isn't swayed by circumstances. It's solid like a house built on rock. Storms can't shake it, and chaos can't break it. Fear might knock, but it doesn't get in. That mind felt abundant, not because it had everything, but because it didn't need anything to feel whole. The Christ mind doesn't tally or hoard. It flows naturally, giving and receiving in harmony. It exists in the now, trusting that everything arrives as it should and leaves when the time is right. Its richness is certainty, and it also knows obedience, not to rules forced upon it, but to love. It finds that God's will doesn't constrain, it frees. By wanting what God wants, it discovers true liberation, a state where the soul stops grappling with choices because the only choice is peace. You can live from that mindset. No need for retreats or promises. Just pause the ego's rush and declare, I don't want to think like the world. I want to see with my soul's eyes. I want to feel like Christ and act from a place of unity. If that prayer is genuine, it gets heard. It doesn't need to reach the heavens. It speaks to the seed inside you. Then, change starts to unfold, not like a sudden flash, but more like the gentle break of dawn. Your thoughts shift one by one. What once caused you pain loses its grip. What scared you now inspires you to pray. What seemed crucial suddenly fades. It's the essence of Christ awakening in you, not as an abstract thought, but as a fresh perspective. Imagine living not from fear or old habits. Instead, a calmer, kinder voice leads you. One day, you'll realize you're not on the same planet anymore. Your spirit has moved. You're no longer trapped in past memories or future worries. What's alive in you now is not the old you, but a new awakened spirit. Peace will feel real. Love will become your thoughts. And the truth, learned not from books but from silence, will shine through you. For ages, people have looked up to the sky, to mountains, and pondered life and death, searching for where God lives. Some picture golden gates beyond our world, others see it as a reward for the pure or the saints. But a wise voice whispers a brave truth. The kingdom of God isn't up there or far away. It's inside you. This isn't a kingdom made of stone or rules. It's not found in grand buildings or through rituals. You don't earn it, you recognize it. It sits deep within, waiting for you to stop searching outside and look in, like a sunflower turning toward the sun. When the mind tries to find the kingdom outside, it hits illusions created by itself. It thinks paradise is something far off and forgets it's a state of being. A state where there's no division, no judgment, where love is unconditional and peace isn't just a reward. This is the essence of Christ, a silent gift asleep in everyone, like a forgotten seed that needs the truth to flourish. The kingdom isn't passed down by family or tied to a religion. It's a lasting flame, alive deep in your soul, revealed when the ego lets go. When the mind stops resisting and the heart stops battling, it shows itself. There are no streets or temples, thrones, hymns, or ceremonies. The kingdom is simply a feeling, a connection where unity and love thrive. The only true law is love, flowing endlessly like a river. It's the home of your soul, a sacred place that you can access right now, no matter what the world says. You don't have to withdraw from life or take a vow of silence to enter this space. All you need to do is stop chasing after things. When you run after the light with a flashlight in broad daylight, you'll miss the sun shining above you. If you keep looking for happiness in material things or in what others think of you, you'll find yourself stuck, circling back again and again. The kingdom doesn't appear with loud explosions or grand visions. It shows itself when you choose peace over conflict, when you forgive, even if you don't fully get it, when you give thanks without needing a reason, and when you love without guarantees. That's when the Christ consciousness, like a gentle sunrise, starts to bloom within you. It's not just an idea. It's a living force that guides, comforts, and transforms you. You don't need to control everything anymore because you've learned to trust. You stop judging because now you understand. You stop hoarding because you know you have everything you need. You realize your true source isn't in the material world, but in spirit, which is abundant and loving. When your soul recognizes this inner kingdom, the world loses its grip on you. You're no longer a slave to your circumstances. Instead, you witness the eternal within the chaos of life. Urgent matters lose their urgency, and dramas lose their power, not because everything's perfect, but because your mind rests on the unshakable presence of God within you. Then you grasp the meaning of those words in sacred texts. The kingdom is here right now. It's not something you build or earn. It's something you rediscover, like waking from a long sleep and realizing the treasure was there all along. This kingdom becomes your new foundation. You stop thinking out of habit and start thinking out of inspiration. You make choices based on truth, not fear. You stop living just to get by. Instead, you focus on making heaven a reality here on earth. You do it with ease, without struggle or show, embracing the gentle truth that all of this already exists. Jesus didn't just use fancy words to make a point. He shared real truths for everyone to understand. The kingdom of God is inside you. This isn't just poetry, it's pure truth. So take a moment, close your eyes and breathe in deeply. Exhale slowly. Notice how in this moment, everything you thought you needed fades away. Put your hands on your chest and quietly say, "Here I am. I'm not just a body or a name. I'm the home of the Spirit, and the kingdom lives within me." Stay with that feeling for a while. Don't wait for signs or proof. Just relax like you've come home. Let that calmness guide you. When your mind finds rest in the truth, the kingdom opens up, and the Christ mind becomes your only compass, your only truth. Just like a river flows from a hidden source in the earth, there's a thought that lives deep in your heart. This isn't a fleeting idea that flies into your mind and quickly disappears. No, it's the thought that digs deep, touching the essence of what's unseen. It's rooted in emotion, in the sacred energy that comes before words, and from this inner sanctuary, reality starts to take shape. As the saying goes, as a person thinks in their heart, that's who they are. This saying holds a key, but it's not for unlocking external doors. It's for stepping into the deepest part of yourself, where your soul connects with the Spirit. There's a delicate line. It's not visible and can't be heard by the world. It's not a wooden door or a fancy gate. It's not guarded or locked with secret symbols. This door is felt through thought, vibrating with your soul's energy. It's not just an idea, but something you feel, believe, and breathe on a spiritual level. What shows up in your life isn't just what you wish for anxiously or declare with a shaky voice. It's what you genuinely think in your heart, what you believe without doubt, what you hold in silence until it becomes part of who you are. The universe, like a faithful mirror, doesn't respond to fancy words but to the steady vibrations you send out. It's not the language that creates, it's the deep intention behind it. Some people talk about having faith while secretly fearing failure. They claim abundance, but worry about not having enough. They speak of peace, but judge silently, and without realizing it, they create from their hidden thoughts, not their words. Thinking from the heart isn't just a mental process, it's a mix of our mind and our feelings. It's when an idea turns into something we simply know, no proof needed. A truth becomes so real that it's part of us, like our skin or blood. This is how we truly connect with Spirit, not through meaningless rituals or outdated ways, but through the deep alignment of our soul's thoughts and what the divine already understands. When our thoughts align with that truth, the world around us starts to reflect it, not as a reward, but as a natural law. Inner and outer don't clash. They're one reality, separated only by how we see things. When we think from the heart, with passion and conscience, doors open. The timeless meets the temporary. The unseen becomes tangible. This is where true creation happens, and it's the core of all spiritual teachings. Jesus didn't create new rules or fight against the norm. He didn't battle problems. He thought with God. Every true thought he had became a cause, leading to effortless change. His mind was clear, and his heart was free from fear and love conflicts. Healing flowed easily because it was all aligned within him. His thoughts were pure, and in that purity, the world transformed. You have that same power. You don't need more faith, though you need to focus your attention. Staying aware isn't about squashing thoughts, it's about making smart choices. Every thought is a decision, and each decision opens or closes your inner space. Often ask yourself, not as punishment, but as reflection, does this thought draw me closer to what's sacred or push me away? Does it echo the Christ mind or the worldly mind? Is this thought bringing me peace or stealing my clarity? If your answer doesn't match who you really are, don't judge yourself. Just shift your thinking, not through effort, but by letting go. Calmly declare, I won't accept this idea as mine. I choose to think with the Spirit and see through the eyes of Christ. Stay in that space, not just with words, but with your breath. Allow that new thought to settle in. Don't force it or rush it. Just gently nurture it until it feels real. And when it does, when it flows from your mind to your heart, you'll feel the transformation. You'll step into a new world, a place where God thinks alongside you. Your thoughts become vibrant creations. It's not about force or logic. It's about finding your connection, your harmony with the source. As the saying goes, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. And so reflects his world. If what you see resonates, check out the link in the description for more insights. You are light, not because you earned it, but because it's your origin. You're like a flame that burns brightly without burning out. Think of a lighthouse standing tall on a cliff, shining without asking if the sea needs it. It just shines. There's no arrogance in that light, only truth. When the Master said, "You are the light of the world," he wasn't just giving you praise or comfort. He was reminding you of a truth you might have forgotten. He didn't say you could be light if you met certain conditions or proved yourself. No, he said you already are light. You don't need anything more to shine. Just let go of the fears, the confused thoughts, and judgment. The light that's always been there will begin to show itself. Clear thinking isn't about being faster. It's about being free from distractions. It's about seeing without the weight of the past or the ego's noise. Let your thoughts flow like a river instead of being trapped like a wall. Think from your true self, not from your pain. When your mind is clear, it doesn't just calm down, it lights up. That clarity, not cleverness or trivia, is what truly changes your world. You don't have to know everything, but you should aim to think from the right place. Move from healing, not from hurt. Draw from that eternal truth inside you, one that doesn't shift with life's seasons. Thinking clearly leads to purposeful action. You stop reacting and start choosing. Your steps will no longer be driven by fear or pressure. They become a dance. And this dance is guided by a silent rhythm, the Spirit. When you act from your core, every gesture has depth, a word, a pause, a look, even silence. Everything can be sacred. When your actions come from the light, they become prayers, and no act goes unnoticed. When love comes from a truly awakened soul, it's something special. It's not that love is free from pain. Rather, you stop letting those wounds define you. Those who love from the Christ within them don't wonder, will I get love back? They don't make demands or try to control things. They love simply because they remember that love is about spreading light. Love doesn't vanish when it's not returned. It doesn't shrink when it's not understood. It lasts because it's rooted in truth, not just appearances. Light has no fear of darkness. It breaks through it. When the Master said, "You are light," he wasn't just talking to the perfect people. He was reaching out to those who were scared, unsure, and felt unworthy. He reminded everyone, you are light. Not because you're perfect, but because your essence is eternal. And that eternal part of you isn't dimmed by life's shadows. God is pure light, and you were made in that same image. Accepting this idea isn't about being arrogant, it's about true humility. When you recognize your light, you don't need to show it off. You just embody it. Your very presence can remind others of what they've forgotten. Light doesn't need words, it shines through your being. It doesn't have to convince anyone, it simply reveals itself. When someone sees that light in you, they start to seek it within themselves. So don't hide away. Don't wait until you're perfect. Don't expect answers that only come in silence. Close your eyes, find your center, and let your thoughts connect to your spirit. From that place, quietly affirm, I am light, not because I've earned it, but because it's my nature. Let that light lead you. There's no rush, no need to feel anxious. Just have purpose, stay open, and hold on to faith and love. Love without needing to control, without contracts, and without fear. Because when you love from that Christ within you, you've already risen above worldly challenges. You've become that shining city on a hill, impossible to hide because it was meant to illuminate. You really are the light of the world. This isn't just a comforting phrase for those who are struggling. It isn't a promise that comes with conditions or a reward for good behavior. It's a powerful revelation, a truth delivered plainly, without fancy words or hidden meanings. You are the light of the world. He was talking to those who feel unsure, scared, or doubtful. People just like you during your tough times, your moments of darkness, your quest for answers. And he called you light, not because of what you've done or what you'll achieve, but because of who you truly are. Light isn't something you fight for or earn. It's not a prize for good behavior. It's your very essence, your beginning. When you connect with that source, you become like a city on a hill, impossible to hide. An awakened heart shines brightly on its own, like the sun. It doesn't need to shout or seek approval. It just is. Thinking clearly doesn't mean thinking fast or coldly rational. It means drawing from the clarity of your spirit. It's about letting thoughts rise from stillness, not the chaotic chatter of the ego. You see without the old filters of the past, free from judgment and the foggy clouds of fear. True clarity isn't just an idea, it's a way of seeing. Those who see clearly act with intention. Their choices come from healing, not hurt. They don't speak just to defend themselves or try to please everyone. Every step they take is guided by a gentle inner force, one that quietly leads without forcing its way in. Acting with purpose doesn't require a flawless plan. It's about staying connected to what's real. Even small actions, a gentle word, a kind glance, a quiet decision, can be powerful moments for love to shine through. Nothing is insignificant when done with awareness. When you think clearly and act with intent, you start to love fearlessly. True love doesn't ask for anything in return. It doesn't manipulate or make demands. It springs not from lack, but from fullness. Loving without fear doesn't mean being invulnerable. It means knowing your true self can't be harmed. Your worth isn't tied to how others respond. Your light can't be snuffed out because it doesn't come from the world. It comes from God. And God doesn't create anything half-hearted. So the light within you doesn't need to hide, defend itself, or wait until it's perfect to shine. Don't hold back. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Speak your truth now. Don't apologize for your light. The world needs what you bring. You are the soul that thinks clearly, the being that acts with intent, the heart that loves brave and true. You're a beacon in the storm, a fire that guides without consuming. You're like a city on a mountain, shining bright. When you love freely, without control, without demands, without fear, you shift from a mindset of lack to one of abundance. Love like Christ doesn't hold back. It doesn't cling or label. It simply gives, because it remembers that giving is just sharing what you truly are. When Jesus said you are the light of the world, he wasn't asking you to become anything new. He was just reminding you of what you've forgotten. He was showing you your true reflection, not to inflate your ego, but to help you return to your essence. Embracing your light isn't pride, it's a deep humility. Those who see their own light don't need to convince anyone. They don't impose or justify. They just live authentically. And in doing so, they help others remember their own light too. Remember, light doesn't need words to teach. It shines through presence. Light doesn't argue, it reveals. It doesn't control, it inspires. So, don't hide. Don't wait for permission from the world. Don't stifle your truth because you're worried about being misunderstood. Stay quiet and let your thoughts align with your spirit. From that place, think clearly, act purposefully, and love fiercely. Remind yourself, I am light, not by achievement, but by nature. This light is my gift. My presence is enough. Then love without rushing, without anxiety. Love with purpose and faith. Love openly without conditions. Love without fear, because when you love from that inner Christ-like energy, you've already surpassed the challenges of this world. You become that shining city on a hill, impossible to hide because it was born to shine. You're not here to build something from scratch or to find an identity that completes you. You're here to remember who you already are. That's the essence of conscious living. The world taught you to seek, to climb others' mountains, thinking you'd discover a better version of yourself at the top. But it's time to remember, the truth has always been inside you, just waiting to be found again. Your soul doesn't crave a perfect future. It longs for a clearer memory. The divine blueprint isn't a blank canvas. It's an inner map you need to recall. When the Creator imagined you, there was no doubt or hesitation. Your design wasn't improvised. it wasn't just left to chance. You were made from total love, from abundance, and from perfection. Nothing was missing when you were formed. Within you lies an invisible blueprint, a sacred pattern holding all your purpose. This blueprint isn't about the future. It doesn't rely on what you do or how good you think you are. It's right here, inside you, like a song waiting to be heard. But to listen, you need to find silence, not the quiet of the world around you, but an internal calm. This silence emerges when you hush the voices of fear, judgment, and comparison. Those nagging thoughts telling you you're not enough yet. The ego feeds on the gap between who you are and who you believe you should be. The more you buy into that distance, the further you drift from the truth. But remember, that gap is just an illusion. The divine plan isn't lost. It's just hidden beneath layers of forgetfulness. Recalling that plan isn't about thinking it through. It's about connecting on a deeper level. It's like recognizing something you've always known, as if life gently whispers, "You don't need to change, just remember." And in that moment of remembrance, worries about the future fade away and regrets about the past vanish. All that's left is presence and truth. When you remember who you truly are, you stop the struggle. Not because your dreams don't matter, but because you stop chasing them from a place of lack. You no longer act to fill a void. Instead, you express what's already there within you. Your actions flow naturally, an extension of who you are. You begin to see that purpose isn't something to reach for, it's a vibe you embody. It means living in harmony with the original plan. That plan is perfect, not because you won't face challenges, but because every challenge is there to guide you back. Every moment you experience, every setback, every pause, every uncertainty is part of a grand plan written with infinite wisdom. Nothing happens by chance. Nothing is without purpose if we look at it from our deeper selves. Sometimes a loss can wake us up. Confusion can open the door to new understanding. Often, what we see as failure is just the spirit guiding us back to what truly matters. Your most sacred journey is reconnecting with your own truth. And that journey isn't out there somewhere. It isn't shaped by what's happening around you. It's written inside you. Every time you make choices from your soul instead of from fear, every time you honor your feelings over others' expectations, and every time you trust instead of trying to control, you're walking a divine path. You're in sync with its rhythm. But here's the deeper truth. This path isn't just yours. You're part of something much bigger. You belong to a cosmic design where your light is vital. Nobody can take your place. No one can share your unique frequency. You're special, not because of ego, but because of purpose. The more you stay true to yourself, the more you add to the balance of the universe. Universal harmony isn't about everyone being the same. It flourishes through authenticity. Each soul that remembers its purpose helps lift the world out of darkness. So living from this divine place isn't about withdrawing. It's about transforming the world with your presence. It's about existing in the world without being tied to it. It's about acting while always remembering who you are. It's about loving without clinging and serving without self-sacrifice. It's about expressing yourself freely without chasing after approval. The world doesn't need more masks. It needs more awakened souls, beings who understand that they're here intentionally, not by accident. Spirituality isn't about escaping reality. It's about fully embracing it. The divine plane isn't a getaway, it's a deep dive. Living in harmony with it doesn't mean giving up life's pleasures. Instead, it invites you to experience them with meaning, gratitude, and fulfillment. There's no conflict between the spiritual and the material when the soul leads. When you allow your spirit to guide you, what you touch is transformed. What you do grows, and what you share multiplies. Remembering who you truly are, that's the most revolutionary act of all. It removes the need to compare, to compete, to prove yourself. You start to live not under the pressure of building an identity, but from the peace that comes from just being. And this peace isn't just sitting around, it's deeply creative. Everything you do springs to life. Your ideas, your relationships, your work, it all becomes a gift, a way to express the divine within you. So if you ever feel lost, don't look around. Close your eyes, find some quiet, return to your breath, and ask with an open heart, what have I forgotten about myself? Then just listen. The soul always answers. It might come as a feeling, a symbol, or a certainty that's hard to put into words, but it always responds. The connection to the divine is never gone. It just waits for you to remember it. Perfection isn't a command, it's a revelation. When we hear "be perfect" echo in our minds, it's not about reaching an impossible target or bearing a heavy burden. It's about reconnecting with our true nature, like a mirror that reflects who we really are. Perfection isn't about having no mistakes. It's about being full of love. It's aligning your thoughts, feelings, words, actions, and spirit. It's the smooth flow between who dreams and who acts. It's about going back to that original place where creator and creation are one. Just like a seed holds the blueprint of the tree, you carry within you the entire design of the cosmos. You're not asked to polish yourself until there are no flaws left. You're invited to realize you're already what you seek. Perfection isn't about being without faults. It's about flowing in unity. Think about the butterfly. It doesn't struggle to be beautiful. It simply allows its transformation to happen. In this way, perfection isn't an end goal. It's being true to the process. To be perfect is to honor your true self, without masks, without fear, without turning away from the call that's always been inside you. When the Master spoke of perfection, he spoke from a divine place. He wasn't pointing to a far-off mountain, but offering a gentle reminder like someone waking a sleeper saying, "Remember, you are light." But we've mixed up perfection with judgment. Many of us think being perfect means never making mistakes or feeling anger, doubt, or sadness. So when we mess up, we hide. When we fail, we feel ashamed. When we face tough times, we believe we've strayed from the spiritual path. But that's far from the truth. Every tear we shed can transform into something greater. Every hurt we face can open a new door. Every stumble, if we accept it with humility, shows us the unseen support that's always there, even when we feel isolated. Perfection isn't a place we reach, it's a way we live. It's about being kind to ourselves. It's about choosing love when fear tries to take over. It's having the wisdom to pick peace, even when our ego craves revenge. A perfect soul isn't one that never falls. It's one that gets back up without losing its spirit. It sings, even when wounded. It remembers that the light is still there, even during the darkest times. Perfection isn't something we earn. It's revealed to us. It's like a fog that lifts, showing us the truth. We don't find perfection through struggle. We allow it by surrendering. Trust that we already are what we aspire to be. Those who understand their true identity don't seek validation. They don't compete or prove anything. They know they are complete and divine, not out of vanity, but out of sacred acknowledgement. If the Father and I are one, and that one is perfect, how can you, made in that same image, not be perfect? It's not about feeling superior, it's about being in sync. But we must activate that perfection, just like a seed needs water. It happens when we choose uplifting thoughts, bless instead of curse, and maintain peace amid turmoil. When we declare, "I am light," even while navigating shadows, perfection shifts from mere belief to a meaningful practice. It becomes a daily art, a way to move through life with spiritual integrity. So strive for that perfection, which is really being true to your essence. Stay connected to the flame inside you. Reflect the love that created you. And watch how the world around you aligns, as if the universe is finally recognizing the divinity in you. You already have a seed within you. It doesn't need to be made. It's been there all along. Picture it beating softly in your chest, like a quiet heart. This seed represents your true perfection. It doesn't require anyone's approval or comparisons. It's your genuine self, untouched by guilt or masks. With each breath you take, this seed grows. Inhale deeply and remind yourself that you're enough just as you are. Exhale and let go of the feeling that you somehow don't deserve it. Gently say to yourself, "I reflect the divine. I am perfect in my essence." Every thought, feeling, and action of yours mirrors your true self. Keep breathing and acknowledging this. Feel the peace that comes from knowing you're not trying to become something else. You're just remembering who you already are. Allow that realization to wash over you. When you come back to this awareness, you'll see you've awakened a piece of heaven inside yourself. Because remember, perfection isn't about never falling. It's about rising up with love. Everything you see around you is a reflection of yourself. What inspires or troubles you is part of you looking for understanding. Life doesn't show you the world as it truly is, but as you are. This is one of the oldest truths of the soul. Everything around you is a mirror, not a tool for judgment, but for revelation. The oneness of everything isn't just talk. It's the universe's inner design. There's no real separation between you and your experiences. You're not just in the world is within you. Every interaction, every moment, every word spoken is essentially a conversation with yourself, dressed up in different faces and forms. The journey of seeing yourself in everything that happens is the start of true freedom. You don't react in complaint anymore. You start to observe, accept, and understand. If someone hurts you, you ask, what part of me still needs healing for this to affect me? If someone inspires you, take a moment to recognize what part of you is awakening to that light. Nothing is by chance. Nothing exists outside of you. Your consciousness creates your experience. So the real challenge is to change what's inside you, not what's outside. Turn judgment into understanding, guilt into responsibility, and reaction into observation. Wise people throughout history have shared this in many ways, but they all point to the same truth. There is no other. The other is you. You are you. At a different level of awareness, in a new role along the same journey, when you learn to see everything without pushing it away, that's when the magic starts. The world feels gentler because instead of resisting, you embrace it. There comes a moment when the soul gets weary of picking sides, defending labels, and categorizing everything as good or bad. That's when real love emerges, a love that isn't based on conditions or tied to expectations. This love just exists because it realizes there's no real divide between the one loving and the one loved. Recognizing the same spark in everyone, even behind a friendly smile or a hostile gesture, shows you that you all come from the same source. Even in the darkest moments, there's a hint of that original light. The world shifts, not because it's changed, but because you have changed how you see it. What once were enemies become messengers. What felt like barriers turn into mirrors. Where there was chaos, you start to see chances for unity. That's the big secret of those who awaken. They don't push against reality. They interpret it. They listen and decode it like it's a living language, a continuous exchange between the seen and the unseen. In this quiet conversation, every experience turns into a lesson, revealed instead of fixed. The mirror doesn't lie or punish, it simply reflects you. When you grasp this, the urge to hide fades away. You stop being afraid of others noticing your flaws because you've dropped the masks. You let go of fearing rejection because you've embraced who you are. Everything you admire in someone else is a piece of your truth. Everything you struggle with in others is a sign of your own resistance. In the end, whether you love or reject doesn't alter reality. It changes how you perceive it. That's where your strength lies, not in controlling events, but in your perspective of them. The soul grows when it learns to appreciate even the things it doesn't fully grasp, when it ceases to demand answers and walks with confidence, when it turns every experience, even the painful ones, into stepping stones toward wholeness. Nothing is apart from you, and the more you embrace this reality, the stronger your connection grows. The more you focus on yourself, the freer you become. You don't need to fix the world, just work on polishing your inner self. As you do this, your energy shifts, and the universe reflects those changes back to you. Picture yourself in front of a calm lake. Every thought you have is like a stone you toss into the water. The ripples that come back aren't punishments or rewards. They're simply responses, the echoes of your inner state showing up in your life. If you want more peace, nurture peaceful thoughts. Looking for love? Start by loving yourself. Craving clarity in your choices? Stop fighting through the fog. Turn on your inner light. It all begins and ends with you. The universe is just a projection of your soul's perception. Change how you see things, and the universe shifts alongside you. That mirror of reality won't disappear, but its reflection will transform. You'll stop viewing others as enemies and start recognizing them as parts of yourself seeking love. Chaos? It's just movement toward balance. Lack? It's an opportunity to embrace a new energy. Unity isn't just a concept, it's something you experience. This experience unfolds when you stop clinging to being right, proving yourself, or defending your story. What once felt separate becomes whole. What used to hurt can heal, and what seemed impossible becomes part of your journey. You didn't come to fix the world. You came here to remember how everything is connected. Live with such inner harmony that your presence brings order. Look at the world with compassion, so even fear feels safe around you. Speak your truth, and your voice will heal without the need for shouting. Once you grasp that there's no other, all conflict ends because there's no one left to battle. Just different parts of you waiting to be seen, loved, and brought back together. That's the real aim of the mirror, not to highlight your flaws, but to return you to your wholeness. Everything that is real starts in the invisible. Before something takes shape in this world, it already exists in energy. Before you hear a sound, it resonates silently. Before a desire materializes, it begins as a subtle intention deep in your soul. The biggest misconception is thinking what you see comes first and that the invisible is just an illusion or a dream. But the opposite is actually true. What you see is just a shadow cast by a deeper light. It's like the echo of a song played on a frequency that not everyone picks up. The universe doesn't communicate with words. It uses symbols, vibrations, and synchronicities. Its language isn't straightforward or logical. It's more about intuition and connection. For those who can tune in, life doesn't need to shout to get their attention. A small spark of awareness is all it takes to grasp the message. When you learn to listen to the unseen, you live in a constant state of connectedness. Nothing feels random because everything is a response, sometimes gentle, sometimes intense, but always spot on. Reality unfolds like a letter in clear ink, only visible to an awakened soul. At this stage, simply wishing for what you want isn't enough. You need to resonate with it. Words without energy are like dry leaves blowing in the wind. Yet just one confident declaration can move mountains, open doors, and change reality. Faith isn't just a belief, it's a creative force. When you say, "I am," you're not just describing who you are. You're creating. You're sending out a vibration into the cosmos, which, without judgment and almost instantly, will start to take form. It doesn't matter if you speak it out loud or think it in silence. What counts is the energy behind it, the inner truth that fuels it. The universe listens with the heart, not the ears. It responds not to what you say, but to what you send out. You can ask for abundance with your words, but if what you're sending out is fear, lack, or doubt, that's what you'll get back. The universe reacts to your deepest frequency, not just your speech. So the real work is within. It's about aligning your thoughts, words, emotions, actions, and faith into one harmonious vibe. It's about speaking as if you have already received, giving thanks before you have it, and feeling genuinely deserving. It's about vibrating with the certainty that it's already yours, even when everything looks contrary. The language of the unseen is subtle, but it's not hard to access. It's like an undercurrent that's always there, waiting for you to stop focusing on the surface. When you quiet your mind and sharpen your attention, you start to feel it. A feeling, a recurring dream, a phrase that keeps showing up, or a coincidence that seems too frequent to be random. Then you really start to tune in. Life isn't just a random occurrence, it's a constant dialogue. You're never truly alone. The universe talks to you every single moment, not with words but through reflections, symbols, and energy. Once you learn to understand this language, fear fades away. You realize you're guided and part of something much larger. Some people live just on the surface, seeing chaos and unfairness everywhere. But those who learn to read the invisible see a hidden order in everything. Even mistakes serve a purpose, silences hold answers, and losses can open new doors. This is when you stop asking and start declaring. You stop pleading and begin to trust. You understand that the universe doesn't respond to your needs but to your vibrations. Instead of saying, "I hope it comes," you start saying, "I already am." That shift within you changes everything around you. The quantum field isn't out there, it's within you. It's part of your own consciousness. When you raise your internal state, you're tuning into that invisible matrix where all possibilities spring from. You're adjusting your antenna to connect with a reality where you already have what you desire. This is where faith transforms from a wish into certainty. Not because you have guarantees, but because something inside you clicks into place. You no longer need proof to believe. You believe simply because you believe. The language of the invisible asks for humility. You won't always know how or when things will unfold, but if you trust in the what and why, Life will handle the details. You don't need to control, just align. You don't need to force, simply flow with purpose. And suddenly, the world responds in new ways. Doors open without effort. The right people come into your life. Signs become clearer. You stop chasing and start attracting. You stop seeking and start remembering. You no longer beg for love because you embody love, and the universe, like a faithful mirror, reflects it right back to you. Always remember, no word is empty when fueled by pure intention. No affirmation is meaningless when it comes from the soul. No prayer goes unanswered when it's heartfelt and in tune with the universe. The language of the invisible is the original language, one spoken by the wise without uttering a sound, one understood by animals, plants, and stars. It resonates in the quiet moments between two looks, in the breath before a yes, in the peace that comes when you let go without fear. Mastering this language isn't just a skill, it's a choice. It needs you to be present, genuine, and ready to listen. Once you start speaking it, everything shifts. You see the world for what it is, a beautiful mix, reminding you of who you are and what you aim to create. Suddenly, magic isn't a puzzle anymore. It feels like a normal part of life. Most people chase after miracles, looking for grand moments like fireworks. But true change often happens quietly. It's found in the small, everyday things, in the unnoticed moments where a distracted mind misses magic, but an aware heart finds treasure. We've been taught to wait for big signs, thinking divinity has to make a fuss, but the spirit rarely shouts. Its presence is felt in the whispers, hidden amidst daily life, sparking joy in the shadows of routine. It's easy to be thankful for big wins, but the true alchemist knows to express gratitude before the good stuff even comes, even when things seem stuck. They understand that the unseen is always active, creating wonders that only the patient heart can spot. Every day presents a chance for transformation. You don't need to go to a remote mountain or a crumbling temple. What you need is presence, intention, and love. A kind word, a helping hand, acts of compassion can shift the energy around you. That's a sacred kind of change. Spiritual alchemy doesn't change metals. It transforms fear into wisdom, pain into understanding, loss into new beginnings. It doesn't randomly alter matter, but brings out the eternal within the temporary. It's about finding the divine in our humanity and the lasting in the fleeting. The ego wants something extraordinary to feel special, but the soul craves the genuine to feel at peace. It doesn't seek applause. It longs to flow with the rhythm of life, knowing each breath is a creation and every thought is a seed sown in the unseen. A true teacher isn't the one who performs flashy miracles. Instead, it's the one who sees the miraculous in everything, who understands that lighting a candle can connect us, that just looking around can reveal the wonder that surrounds us. Looking into someone's eyes can feel like a prayer. Cooking with love becomes a kind of medicine. Walking barefoot on the earth, it's a way to reconnect and remember who you really are. When you approach life with awareness, the everyday moments aren't mundane, they become special. Even simple tasks like washing the dishes can be cleansing. Making your bed can turn into a personal ceremony, and watering a plant, that's a chat with life itself. The magic lies in how you pay attention. It's about truly being in the moment and bringing your presence to everything you do. When you focus on something, that's where the magic happens. With awareness, you enhance what you touch, and everything looks better when you view it through love. Nothing is too small to be sacred. A bowl of rice, a kind word, or even just taking a breath in the middle of your day can all become something special if you're present in your soul. The problem isn't the routine itself, it's the lack of spirit we sometimes bring into it. Transforming the everyday is a way to stand up against feeling numb. It's a shout-out that life, in all its forms, deserves to be celebrated. It's about taking the ordinary and filling it with meaning, making the automatic conscious, and transforming the expected into the extraordinary. Those who embrace this know it's less about adding things and more about peeling back the distractions. The wonder is already there, hidden beneath our daily rush, our complaints, and our repetitive thoughts. We just need to look again, through fresh eyes. It's not about pretending to feel joy, it's about experiencing life with gratitude. It's not ignoring pain, it's accepting it as part of the sacred journey. Even suffering, when acknowledged with awareness, becomes a form of transformation. What felt heavy can turn into understanding. What was hurtful can guide you. Living this way is an act of faith, quietly believing that each day offers a gift, even if it doesn't come exactly as you hoped. It's about grounding yourself while keeping your heart open to the unknown. You don't need to chase after anything to be at the center of your life. You're already here. When you start to live like this, everything simple is enough. You stop looking for proof because life itself becomes the proof. A deep conversation, the scent of warm bread, the laughter of a child, a falling leaf, everything becomes a lesson, a signal, a confirmation. And then you finally stop running. Stop looking outside yourself. Paradise isn't out of reach or waiting for some future moment. It's right here, revealed when you see reality through your soul. This is where the real magic begins. Suddenly, the world feels friendly, not hostile. You stop seeing enemies and start seeing mirrors. Tasks transform into offerings, and the daily grind shifts into a sacred rhythm. You're no longer a lost character. You become an awakened creator, a quiet alchemist crafting miracles in everyday life. You'll learn that life doesn't need to shift to feel sacred. You just need to change how you see it. If you want to dive deeper into metaphysics and faith, check out the first link in the description. Let's keep going. Every creation, every being holds the memory of where it came from. Inside each seed lies the entire design of its future tree, even before it sprouts. It doesn't need to know how it will grow. It just needs to embrace the mystery and trust the invisible laws guiding it from within. Similarly, our souls are sacred seeds, remembering infinity. Even if our minds can't grasp it, we carry within us the blueprint of who we can become. But that memory often stays hidden under layers of fear, doubt, and conditioning. It's not lost. It's just waiting to be rediscovered. Awakening spiritually isn't about gaining something external. It's not a trophy or a conquest. It's about remembering. It's an art form of peeling away what we're not, allowing our true selves to emerge. It means shifting our focus inward, where the eternal voice has always been speaking. The universe designed us to be whole. We lack nothing. What we perceive as lack often stems from disconnecting from our inner truth. We believe we need more knowledge, experiences, or validation, but what we really need is silence, presence, and the willingness to listen to the ancient whispers inside us. Deep in our hearts, there's a voice that doesn't scream but insists. It doesn't reason. It simply knows. It's the voice of our soul, the one that never doubts our purpose. It remembers we're part of the whole. Like the seed, it holds the perfect design of the tree we're meant to become. For a seed to grow, it needs darkness and fertile soil. Life has its moments of confusion, waiting, and uncertainty, and these aren't mistakes. They're part of the flow. They're like a quiet time where roots dig in before anything blooms. But our ego doesn't like this. It craves quick solutions, immediate results, and clear answers. It grows restless in silence, wanting everything to be understood and controlled. Yet the deepest truths aren't something we figure out with our minds. They resonate with our souls. The soul speaks in the here and now. So, remembering who you are isn't just a thought exercise. It's about being present, embracing this moment without wishing it were different. Everything that happens, even the confusing parts, is part of the unfolding process already in progress. It asks you to trust the design within you, even if you can't see it yet. When you start living from that trust, things shift. You won't feel the need to prove yourself or control everything. Instead, you'll walk softly, holding a sense of reverence, knowing each step is supported by something greater. You'll stop pushing against life and start dancing with it. You'll realize that life has never been against you. Every challenge, every stumble, and every dark moment were just nutrients for your growth. The seasons of your soul mirror those of nature: winters, summers, autumns of letting go, and springs of renewal. Nothing lasts forever, but everything is sacred. Just like the tree doesn't fear winter, knowing it's part of the cycle, you shouldn't fear uncertainty, as that's where your roots grow strong. You can't rise up if you haven't grounded yourself in the truth of who you are. Each time you choose silence over noise, you remember. Each time you pick truth over appearances, you remember. And each time you go with compassion instead of judgment, you remember. In that remembering, your seed starts to sprout without rushing, without fear, and without needing approval. Your soul doesn't need the world to understand it. It just needs you to be loyal to it, to listen and follow, even when there are no clear paths. Trust it, even if the horizon seems invisible, because your soul knows the direction to take, carrying the memory all along. The tree simply waits for you to give it room to grow. Following this path isn't about becoming more significant. It's about being more genuine, lighter, and at peace. It's about dropping the act, letting go of the need to control everything or have all the answers. It's about embracing the wisdom of not knowing. This isn't ignorance, it's humility. Sometimes remembering who you really are can sting. It means facing everything you're not, and that can be frightening. But there's no greater freedom than letting go of the false, no greater joy than reconnecting with your true self, and no greater strength than moving from a place of authenticity. A seed doesn't struggle to become a tree. It just needs the right conditions. Good soil, plenty of water, enough light, and time. You don't need to struggle either. Just create the right conditions, clear thoughts, calm emotions, aligned words, and genuine actions. The rest will take care of itself. Life doesn't ask for perfection, it asks for realness. It wants you to stay true to your inner truth, to not silence your soul's voice out of fear of judgment. Don't hold back your blooming waiting for others to give the thumbs up. Don't twist your unique design to fit someone else's expectations. A seed doesn't grow into a tree to impress the forest. It grows because that's what it's meant to do. You're not here to blend in. You're here to expand, to blossom, to remember. If you ever lose your way, and we all do sometimes, just return to your center. Close your eyes, take a breath, and listen. The seed inside you is still alive and waiting, untouched. Before anything takes shape, there's a quiet vibration. Before light shines, before a word is spoken, even before thoughts arise, there's a frequency, a subtle resonance. It's something your soul knows deeply, a connection that goes beyond time. This is the echo of your origin, the soft hum of what created us. It's not a sound from outside, it's a whisper that comes from within. Like a tune you once knew but forgot to listen to, not because it stopped playing, but because you became distracted by the noise of the world, by other people's opinions and their desires. But that echo is still there, patiently waiting for your soul to wake up and remember. Everything in the universe resonates, dancing in harmony. Everything around us is in motion. The stars communicate through their light. The mountains resonate with a deep, steady tone. Rivers carry the tune of change. Even silence has its own rhythm, and stillness vibrates too. You, as part of this grand symphony, also have your own vibrations. Everything you think, feel, say, and do sends out a frequency. This frequency shapes your reality and connects you to similar experiences. You don't just attract what you want, you draw in what you vibrate. Don't just use empty words. Create with intention, with strong emotions, and with a sense of coherence. The first step in creating consciously is tuning inwards. It's about quieting the noise around you to hear your true self. Align with the unique essence that the universe embedded within you. When you sync with that frequency, things will fall into place naturally. You won't need to chase after what you want. It will come to you when you allow it. But this journey back to your core doesn't come from logical thinking. It isn't about cramming facts or gathering spiritual knowledge. It's more about internal tuning, like an instrument that needs to get back in sync with life's orchestra. Sometimes you'll need to unlearn things too. Let go of what you've been told you should be. Release the inherited fears and beliefs that twist your natural vibe. Every thought that holds you back, every belief that separates you from love, dims your light. When your vibration dips, you forget who you truly are. You forget that you are light in a physical form, that you are spirit exploring this human experience. You're not here by accident or punishment, but by choice. Your soul chose this path. It said yes to challenges, yes to learning, yes to remembering the connection amidst the feeling of separation. This inner yes continues to resonate within you, even if you can't always hear it. It's the sacred pulse that lives in every cell, the call that never fades away, guiding you when the world feels chaotic. Ignore it. You can distract yourself or try to resist it, but you can't switch it off. It's stronger than fear, deeper than any wound, and more lasting than any situation. When you start to remember that echo, you realize you're not alone. Life isn't just a one-way street, it's a conversation with the unseen. There are forces, presences, and knowledges that walk alongside you. The universe is at work, sure, but only if you find your rhythm with it. You can't ask for harmony if you're out of step. You can't expect answers if you refuse to listen. You can't pull abundance from lack, love from separation, or peace from resistance. Like attracts like, you draw in what resonates with you. So true spiritual growth isn't about doing more, it's about being more. It's not about rushing outwards, but grounding yourself inwards. It's not about piling up techniques, but embodying the truth. And the truth? It's simple. Everything you seek is already within you. There's nothing to add. You just need to remember. Remember that you are a vibration, a frequency, a unique note in the universe's song. Your voice matters. Your presence has the power to transform. When you're aligned within, it's your greatest gift to the world. When you resonate with your truth, others are reminded of theirs too. Just like a Tibetan singing bowl can tune another just by being nearby, you can elevate the energy of a space simply by being there. You don't need to convince anyone or defend your path, just live it authentically. Be coherent, be clear, be true. When you do that, life responds. Doors start opening, the right people come into your life, miracles occur, not because you're forcing change, but because you're finally in tune with reality. Every significant shift comes from changing your frequency. Transforming your life starts from within, not from the outside. It's about healing your vibration, fine-tuning your pitch, and remembering the music you've always been. In that remembering, the echo of your origin evolves into a song. It's not of this world, but it can be felt in every act of love, every gesture of kindness, every mindful step. It's a song that guides you home, back to your true self. Wherever you go, it leads you back to yourself, to your core, to the truth that's always been there, waiting for your return. And when you finally get there, it's not about finding answers. It's about embracing silence, a deep, full silence. A silence that resonates, that buzzes with the certainty that at your core, you already hold everything you seek. In the depths of your spirit, where time doesn't tick and space is just a concept, your soul celebrates a sacred promise. This isn't an agreement written down or sealed with a handshake. No, it's a vibrational connection, a commitment between the eternal spirit within you and the human form you inhabit. This pact wasn't forced, it wasn't a burden, it was a bright, bold choice made before you were born. Your soul took a good look at the grand design. It saw the faces you'd meet, the challenges ahead, the love that would awaken you, and the wounds that would help you grow. It noticed the emptiness, the victories, the doubts, and the quiet moments. Yet it said yes, not out of ignorance, but with intention. Unlike the mind, the soul isn't scared of pain, mistakes, or chaos. It understands that every shadow teaches you something. Every step you take, even the wobbly ones, leads you closer to your truth. The soul doesn't aim for safety, it seeks growth. Through this pact, it chose to live as a means of revealing itself. This agreement goes beyond names, history, and all the labels you've collected to define who you are. It's older than childhood. It's more real than any story you tell about yourself. It's the invisible thread that ties every experience to a greater purpose. Nothing happens by chance. There's no punishment and no mistakes. What you see as obstacles are actually vital chapters. What feels like a loss might just be a redirection. The pain you carry today can transform into future seeds for growth. That's the beauty of the pact. It doesn't promise an easy ride, but does grant you a sense of purpose. It won't guarantee comfort, but it definitely offers deep meaning. Every person who's crossed your path, whether they've brought you joy or hurt you, every place that welcomed you or pushed you away, all of it fits into a grander scheme. An unseen structure that your soul laid out to help remind itself through every experience. And yes, forgetting is part of the process. By embracing life, consciousness pushes through that veil of forgetfulness and dives into the thickness of existence. It seems like sometimes we act like we don't know things, not to punish ourselves, but out of love. Because real freedom comes when we forget we're made of light. Only then can we choose to shine again. When we do that, we become creators. The pact asks for our presence, not perfection. It's okay to stumble. What matters is that each stumble helps you wake up. It's not about ticking off boxes from a list outside ourselves. but staying true to that original vibe that lives inside of us. That vibe isn't shaken by failures or boosted by applause. It's a steady beat, a soft voice guiding us if we choose to listen. And listening to the soul calls for silence, not the quiet of the world around us, but the stillness within. It's not about blocking out noise, but letting go of judgment. It's that space where we stop fighting what is, where we release the urge to control everything. It's about trusting that everything that happens is for us, not against us. In this calm, we start to see what's true and what's borrowed. We figure out which desires are from our soul and which ones come from fear. We learn which goals uplift us and which just seek validation. We discover paths that light us up and ones that only feed our masks. When we act from that understanding, the pact comes alive. It's not a strict sentence, it's flexible, adapting to our choices and our growth. But it always calls us to step into greater authenticity, more coherence, and more light. It reminds us that we didn't come just to get by or meet others' expectations. We came to embody a unique frequency, to leave our vibrational mark on the world. We're here to make our lives a channel for the sacred. This doesn't mean escaping the everyday. It means living it with awareness. It's not about running from the world, but seeing it with fresh eyes. When we sync with the soul's pact, every gesture becomes a prayer, each word a declaration, and every step an affirmation of our truth. And yes, there will be times of doubt, days when our purpose feels far away and our soul seems quiet. But even in those hushes, the pact holds us up. Even when we can't see it, there's a bigger plan unfolding. Every piece has its place, even when it hurts. So, faith isn't about believing without proof. It's about trusting the process. Trusting while lost in the fog means remembering that your soul doesn't fall behind. Even when your personality trips up, you can cling to the invisible thread. Everything around you might feel chaotic, but that thread is real. It's your source and your future, the promise you made to yourself before you forgot. Each time you choose love instead of fear, authenticity over falsehood, or silence over noise, you honor that promise. Something shifts. Life starts speaking a new language. Signs become clearer, coincidences happen more often, and your meetings can be richer. It all starts making sense, not because the world changed, but because you did. You're reminded that you're not lost, you're not alone, and you're not broken. You're just on a journey. And this journey isn't about reaching a destination. It's about tapping into a vibe, the vibe of who you really are, beyond the masks, the stories, and the roles. When you come from that place, you won't need to convince anyone, prove anything, or defend your worth. Just by being there, you send out a frequency that awakens, uplifts, and transforms, not through effort, but through honesty. Then that soul promise stops being a mystery and becomes a daily dance. It's a dance with the unseen, the eternal, the essence of who you've always been. This dance isn't with your feet, it's with your heart. There exists a language that isn't spoken or heard. It's older than words, purer than ideas, and more precise than logic. It's the language of the invisible, written in symbols, signs, silences, and vibrations. Only the soul knows this language because only the soul remembers. From the moment we arrive in this world, we are trained to trust what's obvious, what we can measure, touch, and repeat. We learn to doubt the formless, to dismiss the intangible, and to laugh at what can't be proven. Yet there's a truth that quietly waits below the surface. Reality doesn't start with what we see. The visible is just an echo of what was already set in the unseen. Thoughts, feelings, and intentions all release vibrations. These frequencies interact with the fabric of creation, an entity that doesn't judge or reason, but responds faithfully. This sacred mirror doesn't reflect your desires. It reflects who you truly are. So it's not just about asking. Imagine coming from a place of abundance instead of lack. It's not about forcing things. It's about tuning in. This way of communicating doesn't use traditional words. It flows from our consciousness. Every thought we hold onto is like a word spoken in the universe. Each persistent feeling sends out a silent signal that shapes our reality. Without even realizing it, we're always talking to the universe. The key is, are we aware of our message? We express ourselves when we think, feel, and believe. Even in silence, we're sending out signals because the world around us responds not to fancy words, but to our true vibrations. If you say, "I trust," but feel fear, The universe picks up on that fear. If you declare, I am abundant but feel unworthy, it echoes that unworthiness. You can't fool the hidden language because it only responds to your real essence. This is where the true power of humanity resides, our ability to create from the subtle energies within us. We are like living transmitters, broadcasting frequencies. What we hold inside shows up in our outer lives, not as punishment, but as a revelation. Our external experiences reflect our inner selves. Every situation is a mirror, every encounter a lesson, every challenge an opportunity to learn more about who we really are. The unseen language doesn't rely on logic. It communicates through signs, like coincidences, a fleeting word, a repeating number, or a vivid dream. These are reminders from the soul of what the mind might have forgotten. To pick up on these signs, you need to find inner calm. It's about creating a space within to quiet the familiar chaos. When you start to listen, you realize you were never alone. Life has always been speaking to you. The universe hasn't ignored you. You just weren't tuned in correctly, like a radio stuck on static until you find the right frequency. Your consciousness needs to shift to grasp the hidden language. This language doesn't ask for blind faith, but for a clear, mindful awareness. It invites you to be an observer of yourself, to read your life as if it were a sacred text. Everything that happens to you today is a reflection of what you thought, felt, or ignored yesterday. It's all connected in a hidden web of cause and effect. Your soul is both the writer and the audience of this story. This journey understands pain, too. Sometimes the soul needs a wake-up call, not out of cruelty, but because gentle nudges just won't do. The soul craves awakening, not comfort. If it has to, it'll stir up chaos to pry open the doors that routine has shut tight. Even the darkness has its own lessons. Every crisis you face is like a prayer from the unseen, reminding you that you have choices. Your body communicates this too. Its symptoms aren't mistakes, they're messages. Every ache, every bit of tiredness, every rush is a phrase in a language that medicine hasn't fully grasped yet. It's your soul trying to talk, especially when dreams and instincts fall short. This language also exists in beauty, in art, in music, and in nature. Think of that bird song that arrives just as you're feeling lost, or a melody that finds you in a moment of need. Imagine a beautiful scene that moves you to tears without explanation. None of this is random. It's the unseen asking your soul to remember you're on a journey, that you're home, and that you haven't lost your way, even if it feels like you have. Real awakening isn't just piling on knowledge. It's about opening yourself to this language. It's about letting go of the victim mentality and viewing the outside world as a reflection of what's inside. When patterns keep repeating, it's not just bad luck. It's a message waiting to be understood. Each experience is part of a bigger conversation, a dialogue with the mystery within you. Learning this language takes humility, patience, and presence. You need the humility to accept that not everything can be figured out logically. You need patience to process what isn't clear yet. And you must be present in the moment where every message is revealed. The language of the unseen cannot be rushed or grasped in a state of anxiety. It unfolds with an open heart and a willing spirit. Once you embrace that openness, life shifts from random events to a beautiful poem, a precise dance, a symphony guided by a higher wisdom that neither punishes nor rewards, but simply loves and guides you. Instead of trying to control everything, you start to resonate with what's around you. You find you don't have to ask all those questions anymore. The answers are already in the air, in gestures, in the body language. Over time, you realize that the unseen has always communicated with you. And now you know how to respond, not with words but with feelings, not with anxiety but with your presence, not with fear but with trust. In the end, the most important things are invisible, but your soul remembers them. There are times when it feels like life just stops. Everything you know seems to disappear, leaving a sense of incompleteness. The noise around us fades, and we're faced with the unknown. But is what we see truly a void? Is it really emptiness we feel? The void isn't nothingness. It's not the absence of something. It's the space before anything is created. It's where infinite possibilities lie. The void holds the pure potential for what's coming next. It's where life, even in its absence, begins to move. In this emptiness, there are no set dances, no choreographed steps. Everything responds to the energy present. It's a free-flowing dance, no rules, no limitations, not bound by time or space. The void is alive, bursting with potential. It's not a dead space, it's filled with internal movement, where the seen and unseen flow together quietly. We live in a world that tries hard to fill this void. We resist silence, stillness, and breaks because we think everything should have a shape or a clear purpose right away. But emptiness doesn't ask for purpose or explanation. It simply exists. It is the purest form of creation. Every thought in your mind responds to that emptiness. Every emotion from your heart springs from that original nothingness, which is also everything. Emptiness is the ground where our reality takes shape. Whenever we feel lost or confused, it's a sign to enter that sacred space. It's a reminder that in emptiness, everything begins and everything ends. In that emptiness, there lies the answer. True strength isn't about what we do, it's about who we are. We are the ones who waltz with the void, who flow with it. A human isn't just a separate being, we're part of that cosmic emptiness. This dance with the void isn't solo, it's a duet. It's the soul connecting with the universe, individual awareness merging with a greater awareness. In this dance, it doesn't matter if our steps are shaky or the rhythm fleeting. What truly matters is that we are here, alive and present. Many people shy away from emptiness. They see it as something to fear, fear of loneliness or feeling lost without a purpose. But emptiness isn't despairing. It's actually rich with potential. It's where every possibility springs from. When we confront emptiness, we meet a golden chance to create from deep inside us, free from what's known and unbound by what's already existing. Emptiness is where it all begins, a place of endless creation. Sure, our world glorifies action and hustle. We've been taught to dread stillness and pauses, but real power isn't found in doing all the time. It's in the wisdom that comes from resting. It's about stepping into emptiness, welcoming it, and moving with it. Only when we find that inner calm can we uncover the truths we're looking for out there. In emptiness, nothing is judged or expected. There's no need to do better or achieve more. There's just existence. This being, which goes beyond thoughts and beliefs, is what links us to the essence of life itself. Life isn't about how much we own or the triumphs we've had. It's more about our willingness to embrace emptiness and accept everything as it is, without pushing back or trying to mold it. Dancing with emptiness isn't about effort, it's about surrender. It's the art of flowing with the universe instead of trying to dominate it. To truly dance with emptiness, we must let go. Let go of the control we think we have, of expectations on how things should unfold, of the need for answers. Surrendering to emptiness means surrendering to life in its most authentic form. And it's through this surrender that we discover our true power. Strength doesn't come from fighting, it comes from letting go. It rises from being fluid, not rigid. We often fear emptiness, but it's the source of all creation. Each time we let ourselves be still, we connect with that creative force. When we give in to the unknown, we open ourselves to endless possibilities. In this boundless space, we discover true freedom. Here there are no limits or divisions, just infinite chances to be. The dance of emptiness invites us to live fearlessly, shedding the weights of who we're not. It encourages us to be our authentic selves, without the masks we wear to fit the world's expectations. In this void, our soul speaks simply and directly, communicating truth without fuss. Every time we venture into this emptiness, we find a fresh start, a new version of ourselves. The void isn't just the beginning of everything, it's eternity itself. In this space, things are created, destroyed, and transformed. There's no past or future, just now, just being. When we align with the rhythm of the universe, our movement becomes the most beautiful dance. It's time to embrace emptiness, not as something strange but as part of us. It's time to welcome the unknown and surrender to life's mysteries. Life doesn't need to be controlled, it just needs to be lived, from a place of stillness and trust, straight from the heart. This dance of emptiness is the dance of freedom and the soul. When we join in, we become one with everything. There are moments in life when darkness seems overwhelming. The light feels far away, almost impossible to reach, while everything familiar starts to fade into uncertainty. We might wonder where the light has gone, why it feels like darkness has taken over. But what we often miss is that the light has never really left us. It's there, just waiting for us to notice it. Darkness isn't the absence of light, it's a key part of it. At the bottom of every shadow, the light is there, just waiting to be awakened. Light and shadow aren't foes, they're two sides of the same coin. Embracing the shadow isn't about rejection, it's about understanding. Within it lies the spark of light. Darkness is where light prepares to shine. Before something beautiful bursts forth, it often gathers in the shadows. We live in a world that fears the dark. We shy away from it, thinking light is our savior and darkness is our downfall. But if we pause and really look, we'll discover that the deepest truths of life are hidden in those shadows. Light needs darkness, just as darkness needs light. They support each other, and together, they help us grasp the whole picture of existence. It's easy to be drawn to light, clarity, proof, and shining paths that show us the way. Light lets us see what's in front of us. But what about the shadows, those parts that feel so foreign to us? They actually invite us to explore within. Without those shadows, we wouldn't dive deep into who we truly are. Light reveals the outside world, while shadow helps uncover our inner selves. When we encounter darkness, we shouldn't run from it. Instead, we should welcome it. Within that darkness lies the chance to find our own light. This inner light isn't tied to what's happening around us. It comes from our ability to bring to light what's hidden within. Darkness isn't a barrier. It's a doorway to awakening something greater inside us. In those moments of shadow, our soul can expand, transform, and understand our true selves. As we accept the shadows that linger, we begin to grasp the essence of light. Light isn't something handed to us. It's a divine spark resting deep inside, waiting for the right moment to shine. Darkness is where that spark hibernates, preparing to explode in all its glory. When light finally breaks through, it's not just a shine from the outside. It's a glow from our hearts, our souls. Every shadow we come across is a chance to look within ourselves. Shadows don't carry labels of good or bad. They just are. They mirror our unresolved feelings, limiting thoughts, and hidden worries. But if we take a closer look, we can find a truth in every shadow. It's this truth that helps us blossom and discover light amid the dark. Light and shadow are always destined to meet, dancing together in a back-and-forth rhythm. Neither can exist without the other. It's in this balance between them that we find understanding. We find harmony where there is peace. Imagine if there were only light. Life would be flat, lacking depth and mystery. Now, picture a world with only shadows. It would be a dark place, filled with despair. Life is really a dance between these two forces, light and shadow. Every time we face the darkness in our lives, we get a chance to dig deeper within ourselves. Darkness isn't our enemy. It's more like a teacher. It shows us to look beyond what we see on the surface. It challenges us to question what we believe and explore the hidden parts of our being. On this journey inward, we find true light, a light that doesn't rely on outside situations but springs from our ability to see beyond the shadows. Life can be murky and tough to grasp. Often, we find ourselves lost in the dark, unsure of our path. But even in those times, the light is still there, patiently waiting for us to notice it. The moment we accept our shadows, when we stop being afraid of the darkness, that's when the light shines through, bright and clear. True freedom isn't about running away from the darkness, it's about embracing it. It's understanding that it's part of who we are. By making peace with our shadows, we can let go of the urge to control or judge them. In that release, we discover the light that has always been there, just waiting for our recognition. Light and shadow, like yin and yang, are parts of the same whole. They can't be separated, they're essential to life. When we see that both are needed for our growth, we start to view the world differently. Darkness becomes a chance to uncover something deeper within, and light shifts from being something we chase outside ourselves to something that's always been inside, just waiting to be shown. Life invites us to look beyond what we see. It encourages us to explore the shadows and find the light hidden within. It calls us to embrace our humanity, its highs and lows, contradictions and beauty. Only by fully accepting who we are can we uncover the true purpose of our existence. Stay positive, even when times are tough. Thanks for sticking around. If this talk on metaphysics and faith has got you thinking or seeing things differently, keep it going. Check out the first link in the description. There's so much more out there for you to explore, learn, and put into practice. I'll catch you in the next video. Just remember, your change starts with taking that first step.